Hello viewer. Or whether they're going to extend this contract or they're going to, allow him to.
Once again, welcome to another exciting episode of Complete Sports Updates, the show that brings you up to date with events in the world of sports. My name is Solomon Ejagmasi, and with me is James Ribery.
Hello viewers, it's a pleasure being on the show again today.
Today we'll start our discussion from Stephen Keshi. Nigeria Super Eagles coach Stephen Keshi has been courted by South Africa to be their next coach after Nigeria are done with their service during the World Cup. What do you have to say about that?
Well, for South Africa to make the intention, as appointing Stephen Keshi as their chief coach, after the World Cup. Well, who will not want a coach who is successful, after taking over from Samson Siasia, led the team to last year's AFCON, winning the competition for Nigeria for the third time, and qualifying the country for the first ever CHAN competition and also for the World Cup. So it now depends on himself and the NFF. It depends on what they decide to do after the World Cup, whether they're going to extend his contract or they're going to allow him to take a walk. So the thing is, it's left for the coach, like I said, left for the coach and the NFF. Because if you look at it, I think Stephen Keshi is one of the most respected coaches around now, because of his what he has achieved in just how many years. So let's see how it pans out, because now I think what he has what is most important him now is how the Super Eagles will perform at this year's World Cup in South Africa. So let's just keep our fingers crossed and see how events unfolds.
Okay. Also, in the Premier League, Joseph Yobo, Norwich defender, says he wants his Eagles shirt back. What do you have to say about that?
Well, Joseph Yobo, ever since he made his debut for the Super Eagles 2001 against Sierra Leone, if I'm not mistaken, he has been a faithful servant to the national team. He has contributed his own part in the success of the national team. For him to say he wants to now come back to the team, I think it's left for the coach to decide. He knows the players, he knows everything about the team, he knows who he really wants, and so for us to say he doesn't fit into the team again because of the emergence of Obabuna, Omero, Igweke, these guys, I think that's the job for the coach. He's the one that has to decide who goes to the World Cup. Good thing he is no more with Fenerbahce because of he couldn't command regular playing time, so he had to come back to the English Premiership. A terrain which he knows very well. Pitching tent with Norwich City, and just some few days back they were able to hold Man City to a 0-0 draw. So which goes to show that I think he did well in the game. So let's just see what the coach decides, because he is the one that's in charge of the team and he knows the guys who he feels can do well for the national team when the World Cup kicks off. Okay. Also, Ambrose set to move to the English Premier League. What do you have to say about this? Well, Ambrose, former junior international, Nations Cup winner, an Olympic silver medalist, has played in the Champions League, has seen it all. So I think for him to now decide to want to come to the Premiership, there is stiff speculation. We don't know what's really going, because we are not in the transfer window yet. But things like this, we still find things like players wanting to move to another club, popping up. So I feel it depends on if Celtic really feel they don't want to service again. I think that's when they now decide to, okay, you can go, thanks for your service and all that. But let's just wait and see. Especially now that we're in the World Cup here, and a very good performance from him. Might not even be the club that is trying to take him away from Celtic. Some other clubs too might just decide to come out and say, okay, we want this guy because of his performance at the World Cup. So let's just wait and see what as things unfold, and just hope that he gets a lucrative deal to a very good club.
Okay. Exodus. Sagna and Fabianski set to leave Arsenal. What do you say about this?
Well, Sagna and Fabianski planning to leave Arsenal. Ever since Sagna, joined Arsenal in 2007, he has been one of the most regular player and one of the most reliable player for the team. Bearing some injuries, But for Fabianski, he has not been that lucky because of Chesney, who has been consistent for the team. So. Well, to me, I say until it happens, one cannot just come out and say it's true you are leaving, because we've heard of instances where players, say they are no more interested in playing for a particular club. By the end of the day, you still find them playing for that same club in the following season. So I think it now depends on what, how the two parties come together to sort things out, because. For me, I think Sagna is one player who I think Arsenal still needs now, except maybe the coach thinks otherwise. Maybe I've seen someone who is a capital replacement for the guy. Well, let's just wait after the World Cup, when the transfer window opens again. So from there we'll know if these two players will leave Arsenal, and join another club. So let's just keep our fingers crossed.
Okay. Still on Arsenal. Ribery is out of Arsenal tie for the Champions League next week. What do you say about this?
Well, for Ribery, being ruled out following an injury picked up, I think in their last Bundesliga game, is be a big blow for the UEFA Champions League, the champions of the UEFA Champions League. Ribery is one of the most important players though they have other quality players, but I think he's one guy that ticks most of the boxes. His passion, his drive, you see that hunger in him anytime he plays for them. So him being ruled out would be a major blow for them. Fortunately for us, it's going to be a good one for them, because it will be kind of a reduced threat coming from Bayern Munich. Now that especially the first leg coming up at the Emirates Stadium, so if they can just try and get a good result, because there's possibility that the guy is going to make the second leg. So I feel there is no who yet for them, because you cannot say because one player, because the way the Bayern Munich team is set up is not a one-man team where they rely on just a particular player. The team is blessed with abundance of talents. We have Ribery, we have Thiago Alcantara, we have Thomas Müller, Mario Götze, top class players who can take out any team at any time. So somehow it's a good one for the Arsenal team, but let's see how they handle the situation, especially when you take a look at their last meeting at this same stage last year. They just creep through to the quarterfinals against Arsenal due to the away goals rule. So let's just see what happens, and we hope the best team comes out victorious.
All right, thank you. This rounds up another exciting episode of Complete Sports Update. Take for the week. Do you think Yobo is still relevant in the Super Eagles team for the World Cup? Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.